What's up, crypto nuts? Hope all is well for you today. Indeed, Bitcoin. For my last video, I was saying watch this blue trend line. I drew it in with two data points coming off the high, the most recent last local high before it put in. Now, this third data point that indeed has held. I was talking about the likelihood of Bitcoin having a hard time busting through that trend line. Basically, because that white horizontal line is the $100,000 mark, and it has been resistance in the past. Now, with that being said, it could still break through there. Let's zoom in on that. This is the hourly chart, and it's showing a little more strength than I thought it would. Um, volume there's been an uptick in volume. If we look at the daily chart, this is the hourly chart, but on the daily chart, there's a slight uptick in volume, but it just went from extremely low to basically average. So it's really nothing a whole lot to talk about. It's a little stronger than I thought. My last video, 2 videos ago, was about this pattern here. My last video I made here, and I was talking about this structure here possibly doing the same thing. And my primary analysis of it coming down from 97,200, I was saying watch out for it to come down and do this and possibly this. And now that CPI report, inflation report from Wednesday, I've made mistakes on that before. I wasn't really paying attention, but in inflation is like 0.1% off expectations. It's just trade bait, right? One way or the other. And so we've got this little kind of blow off top guy here, but there it is. There it is. Boom. See that? That was the action I was looking for, right? That was the action I was looking for from this one. Boom. Or possibly this one. Boom. Right there it is. It just was the next leg up, did it? See? There it is. Boom. That's a real common thing, and when you're able to spot that, you can really, obviously take advantage of it one way or the other. But that's the rapid pushes, right? Look at that. It's basically 2 green candle hourly candles just straight up, and then it tops. Whether it's a flat top, a round top, a triple top, a double top, a single top, Batman top, whatever kind of top it is, doesn't matter. But see that? Now this one was short lived. I was surprised. I was surprised to see this one show strength here. It came down to 97.2. You see that? That's no coincidence. And then boom. I was surprised to see that strength. Right now it's right back at the 100,000. Now the blue trend line is actually below 100,000 now. And right now as I speak, it's hitting the blue trend line. So it's looking kind of like it might want to try to break through 100,000 and go up. If it does go up, at the next Fibonacci level up is 114,000. I think that's unlikely, but Bitcoin can get stupid for dumb reasons sometimes. What you want to watch is this level here at 102,500 area, the previous high. You want to see if it can break that. Now, not just a little wick up there and then back down. You want to see if it can get up there and start closing some candles. Then you might be in business for further, upside. And then, of course, the all-time high, 108,500. Can it get up there? And not just a little wick, but down. Can it get up above there? And if that's the case, we're probably looking at 114. That's awfully fantastical to me, in my opinion. I just came off 89,000. We've just witnessed a $12,000 pump rapidly, and it's overheated, and right now as I speak, we're at 100,000. So this is what I want to make the video about. Trump taking office January 20th. Let's go to the daily chart. Back in July, there was a Bitcoin conference. Stop touching me. I got a cat messing with me. Back in July, Trump went to the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, and Why is it doing that? Oh, that's annoying. Um, and he stated on day one he's going to fire Gary Gensler, the SEC chair, and he's going to give executive orders immediately on day one that will create a national United States Bitcoin strategic reserve. And he's going to end debanking. Right, he's going to protect the crypto industry from traditional banking systems that just continually do stupid things to the crypto industry and blah blah yada yada. But the big one is the Bitcoin strategic reserve. Right, on day one, he's going to create a national strategic reserve of Bitcoin. That's what he said at the Bitcoin conference, right? And among other things, and I watched that conference. And let's go here. Let's go back to the daily chart. I want to mark something off for you. The assassination attempt was here on July 13th. This area here, Bitcoin was kind of down here, and when that happened, obviously it was pretty obvious he was going to win the election, and he's a pro crypto guy now. Now back here to the left a little ways, back in 2021, Trump stated that Bitcoin is fake and it's a scam. Okay, so but now he's pro crypto, and this is where he survived that assassination attempt, right? And look at this big pump, right? I made video back then saying this is a story that won't go away, and it's probably in for a run. But then the Bitcoin conference was here. It ended right here, and this is where he gave his speech at the Bitcoin conference, right here. And right as it happened, like the next day, it went up to 70,000. But right, it's up here at the top, and he gave it. That's where he gave the speech. Right now, this is important stuff. He's going to fire Gary Gensler. He's going to create a national reserve of Bitcoin. That's huge news, right? But look what happened to the price of Bitcoin. Buy the rumor, sell the news, and look at the price. That sucker topped out at 70,000. Boom, and it went all the way down to 48,000. That's actually where I got liquidated just by like a few, just barely. It's just so. I made a mistake right there. I miscalculated, and so I remember that, right? So what's likely to happen now? Let's go back to the hourly chart. I just want to warn you about this. Now, like I said, I could be totally wrong. Bitcoin could pump up. I've seen Bitcoin pump up on stupid, terrible news before, and then on good news it'll dump. But this is recently come off here, right? It's similar to back in July when he survived the assassination. Right? It's a big pump, right? And it's looking kind of like a toppy. And here comes this is I'm making this video January 16th, and January 20th is when he gets sworn in, and that's day one. It's next Monday. So on Monday, he's supposed to sign an executive order on Monday the 20th that will create a Bitcoin national strategic reserve for the United States of America. That's what he said. That's what he said he's going to do. That's what's going on, right. I watched the B Word conference. He showed up. He showed up to that thing like 2 or 3 hours late. I just sat here watching and watching and watching. Right? He showed up late, 2 or 3 hours late. Who does that? And then he comes in and he says he's going to do the strategic reserve, and he actually talked down to everyone there. It was kind of tacky and embarrassing in my opinion. He belittled the crowd routinely. He didn't care. It's I don't want to get into it, but the thing is that crowd they're so eager to be accepted that they'll just cheer for anything, right? And it is good news that there's a pro crypto president supposedly, but he just talked to them like they were little kids. It wasn't it wasn't anything good, but we'll see. We're 4 days away from that. And then here's an article. This is dated today. It's an article about whether or not there'll be a Bitcoin strategic reserve. blah blah yada yada yada. I just want to skip down here this highlighted part. Asked to comment for this article, Brian Hughes, a spokesman for Mr. Trump's transition team. Now they're asking Brian Hughes, they're asking him about the strategic reserve on day one, and he says Mr. Trump's will the president-elect will deliver on his promise to encourage American leadership in crypto and other emerging technologies. that's a little ways away from signing a United States of America Strategic National Reserve of Bitcoin funds. Yeah, that's a little bit. That's a couple millimeters statement away, right? But what is that? Well, his promise to encourage American leadership in crypto. That that's not that's right. So I just want to warn you. There's this bullshit. Right? I smell bullshit, and the thing about it is, if it turns out to be bullshit, Bitcoin very well could just because the big whale traders, they could end up pushing us up regardless. So nothing's for sure, but watch out. There could be another leg up. See, this doesn't have anything to do with technical analysis or pattern recognition. When it comes to news events like this, it gets real kooky, and I kind of regret making my last video, but there it is. That is the pattern I was telling you about. And I'm not here to tell anyone when to get in and out of trades. I just like to show people things that I recognize and point that out to you. If it followed suit from like the last where he survived that assassination attempt and then the B word conference at the immediate dump down to 48,000. If that followed suit similar, what would that equal here in this range? That would be something like Bitcoin ending up. Let's go back to the daily before I start yammering. Where'd that come down to from previous? 48 was the top. It was this top of this peak back on January 10th, 2024 is where that bounced. See that? It's bounced perfectly off that. So the next, if the similar dump played out now because of this, see this whole thing, right? A lot of this whole pump from 50,000, 48,000, a lot of this whole thing is social media pump, right? They're pumping the trumping. They're pumping Trump. The Trump pump Trump. So if that played out from this range, if it came down to the top of the next one, that would be 73,850. That would be Bitcoin bouncing off here, the previous high of that range. See it bounce. This one here bounced here. If the same, and I'm not saying it's going to. I just want to give you something to think about. If it did the same thing, which is definitely on the table, that would be Bitcoin coming down here, and it could be fairly rapid too. See how rapid that was? Boom. Right, so, boom. See that? That's what that would look like. And then if that happened, that's where you want to put in a long, because you're likely looking at this, right? And then eventually probably up to 139,000, like in May or June or something like that, 2025, right? That's just the way this works over and over and over. Hype. Everybody long. Oh, here comes the big whales. Boom! No, in your face. Oh, down to 73. You lost all your money. The whales closed down their shorts, and now the whales are long at 73. Up to 139. What do you think about that? So I just want to open your eyes. But see, the stupid thing is I make this video. Look at that. Bitcoin has went up to 100. Let's go to the hourly chart. But there, it's right now on video. It's trying to go above 100,000. It's at 100,200 right now, and it's done this several times in the last 20 hours, and it's failed every time. Let's see. We'll see. It's hard to tell, but what I want to show you is is I smell bullshit, and that's buy the rumor, sell the news. So watch out for January 20, 21, 22, 23. Watch out for a big dump starting. Big dumps. Big dumps on the table. Big Trump dump. But see, the thing is, what if it is bullshit? What if he doesn't do any of this stuff? Right? What if this, he'll deliver on his promise to encourage American leadership in crypto? In other words, we're talking about, right? That's 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 steamy bullshit. I can smell it already. But what if he doesn't do any of that? What if he doesn't fire Gensler and he doesn't do anything he said? I've seen Bitcoin do stupid things. So Bitcoin could still end up pumping just because somebody put in some $1 million shorts, but the whales saw it and they put in $10 million longs and took that money. And then for a short time, there's a big pump up to 108,000, even though Trump was lying to everybody about what he's going to do on day one. It still could go up there, right? But that's just be like trade bait and then come down all the way, So just be careful out there, and I do recommend, if you haven't tried it already, to try hedge mode, where you short and long at the same time. Stay small, keep a lot of dry powder to adjust, keep a lot of dry powder to protect, and hedge mode is something you can do virtually for the rest of your life. So you don't have to get greedy and take big chances. You can just sit there and stay safe and blah blah blah. But anyways, look into hedge mode, and I'm out of here. Later.